Today, I'm going to be going over the best practice creative maps to use to get better quickly. So we're going to first start off with mechanics, and this is going to be Raider 464's mechanics training map v3. And all the island codes for each map is going to be down in the descriptions. Alright, so this map has a whole bunch of different things, but the first thing we're going to be going over is the edit while moving. So this one, as you expect, you will be able to edit this wall while you're moving back and forth, and this one's really good for awkward angle, crosshair control, which you might get into in some certain moments in your games. So it's always good to practice these kind of awkward angles, so whenever you do get into a situation where you have to do these edits, you don't actually end up messing them up. So next we have the piece control tunnels, and we have build replace and one with targets. So the build replace is pretty obvious. Whenever you go through this, try to do it at like a safe angle like you would in game. And also I would suggest trying to practice like using your shotgun and stuff to take the wall. So just kind of like go at this kind of like you're in game and you're trying to just take somebody's wall and you're not trying to get hit by them. Obviously you could go through it fast if you're just trying to like warm up your mechanics or something, but I would suggest just going slow if you can. Also try to get as much piece control as you can, but this target one is obviously going to be with targets. So as you can see here, there's the target underneath me and you just gotta, hit it and then keep going. And again, when you're doing this, try to go at safe like right-hand peek angles so you don't get into any bad habits. The worst thing you can do when doing these maps is just to create unnecessary bad habits and bad angles when, peeking stuff. So like if you're just like practicing doing this with the bot, if you do that in game, you're most likely just gonna get max bumped. But if you try to practice, going on like right-hand peeks, unfortunately I cannot edit right now because I'm trash. But if you're not ass and you could just, try to go at a, good right-hand peek angle, it's gonna be very beneficial for the long run. And that's going to go with most of these maps coming up. So next we have the piece control and peek training. So this one, you're just going to have a bot going around here. And if you end up, making a bad peek, you'll actually get hit. So this map's very good for, making sure you just stay on that right-hand peek like I was talking about before. Because like I said, if you do like a stupid peek like this, you're going to get shot. But if you do a nice little right-hand peek, you won't actually end up getting shot. And I would also just, practice this like you're in game. Like after you shoot the gun, make sure you try to reset the wall and stuff like that. So next we got the box fight training map, and you have a bunch of different settings here, which are pretty obvious. But as you would guess in this map, you just have a bunch of bots running around and you gotta try to, max them. And the goal here is to not really take any damage while doing this. This one's a pretty good realistic one just because the bots move around a lot more than the other ones. Like the other ones just don't move around like at all. So this is a good practice, trying to, piece up and shoot a moving target. This, you got edit tower and AI bot free build, which is kind of just like the other one, but you just have way more room to free build around and, try to piece control bots and stuff like that. So this one's a nice little like fun one to do. And obviously you have that other free build map as well. But I'd recommend doing this one more just because it's, a lot more fun. So next we're going to be going over Xeric's aim plus mechanics map. Now this map is very good if you're looking for a map that's kind of like Kovacs and you don't want to actually buy Kovacs. So once you load into this map, it is actually going to take a second for everything to load, but it won't take that long. So once everything loads in, it's going to look like this, and make sure you grab one of these once you spawn in because you won't have it if it's your first time playing it. But we're going to go over to the AR training or AR aim here, and as you can see, you have this long ass thing and you can go up to 80 meters away. So you can have a timer if you want, but you can just do free play if you shoot it. You're just gonna have these little targets that pop up. They're gonna change in sizes and stuff. But if you're doing this map, I'd recommend you do it all the way over at 80 meters, just because it's, kind of good practice if you're like, say you want to practice storm surge or something. It's good on like, just flicking to different targets. And, the quicker you can do this, the better in my opinion, just because obviously in game, you're not gonna have, super long time to, try to line up each shot. Now this next one is SMG and AR tracking, and it's kind of similar to the last one, but it's more like Kovacs if you ever seen it before. So this one's for SMG. Each of these, little floating orange dots is going to have different HP. And you can go from mid-range to long-range here. So mid-range is kind of good if you want to practice your combat SMG like recoil from a decent distance. But it's also good for, kind of closer tracking with the MK. But long range again is what I'd recommend, since most of your fights with the MK and stuff are going to be at like pretty decent long range, and it'll help you kind of like control those shots when you're trying to, aim at somebody that's super far away. Now this next one is going to be my favorite one from this course, and that's going to be the shotgun aim with movement mode and 360 degrees. So this one is just kind of like the Kovacs one kind of before. It helps you kind of just like flick on your targets, It's very good flick training in my opinion. But the best part about this little course here is not that, it's actually going to be 360-degree movement. So once you go into here, you're gonna have two bots that spawn in, and they're gonna spawn, you know, literally everywhere. It could even spawn like on this platform I'm standing on here, like you can see there. And it's really good at just like trying to, you know, quick like flick onto each person. And I feel like this is the best part of this map. Try to get like good movement down as well. Like when you're doing this, like in game, you want to like try to avoid player shots, but also have good aim. So if you're like, you know, practicing crouching down, moving left and right and stuff while trying to, you know, have that good precise max headshot aim. And with this one, you're actually gonna have to go into the reds because for some reason it gets rid of like the little reset thing. So that's it for this map so far. Now, if you're looking for a map with a little bit more different scenarios, I would suggest RAIDER'S aim training map as well. Now, Raider does have a different aim duel map that you can actually play against other players in. This one is purely just for when you're by yourself. I'll have the one that you can play with other players in down in the description as well, but I'm not going to be covering it in this video. But I would suggest playing that one over one just playing with AIs, since obviously playing against real people is going to help you more. But if you don't have anybody to play with, this is a good substitute as well. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different practice things here, and this first one is actually probably my favorite and probably one of the better ones. So each of these maps are going to have a different free play, 1 minute timer or 3 minute timer. So you just shoot it and then click start. So this one's a good one. If you ever played that, you know, 1v1 aim duel map like I was talking about before, it's pretty similar to this, except the bot's just going to be like jumping around more. And like I said before, it's a little bit better to play with like actual people because like you can actually kind of like predict their movement, where with this bot, it's like literally just fully random. There's not really any prediction going on there. But again, it's still good if you just want to practice those like quick flick shots, for example. Clearly, I can't hit a shot right now though because I'm ass. But they don't just have close range, they also have long range as well if you want to practice on that. You can see each one shows, you know, hip fire. This one is AR ADS and, you know, so on. So we're going to show the glider tracking real quick. So on this one, the bots will spawn close, far away, or like medium range. And you just want to practice your tracking here. My aim's really bad right now. But yeah, it's good. It's a good practice map, again, if you don't have anybody to play with and you're just kind of just trying to work on your aim in game. And if you can, I'd recommend trying to do most of them. Some of them aren't that good, but a lot of them are definitely helpful. Now this next map is going to be the headshot only box fight map with the Havoc. I know I'm talking about a lot of aim maps right now, but if you're going to play any maps in this video, this one is definitely the best by far. So this map is another really good one. Currently there's not many people in here just because it's super late at night. But on this one, you just enter in and you have this entire space to build against other players and try to, you know, piece them up and stuff. And as the map name goes, you can only hit 190s to actually kill anybody. So this is really good practice for, you know, getting that precise aim. You see like 188 there, doesn't even kill him. So I would recommend playing this map after you've like done all the, you know, mechanics and other aim maps. Just, you know, try to, you know, get that precise aim on lock right there. And when you're doing this, try to like piece it up and actually like take smart peeks and stuff like you would actually in game. Because like I said before, you don't want to, you know, create any bad habits. And this map could definitely create some bad habits just by like doing some weird peeks. But if you just want to like hop in the box, you obviously can. And this isn't, you know, bad practice hopping in the box either, since a lot of the times when you're fighting, you're going to be like in their box. So if you can practice hitting that flick max shot, it's definitely going to help out. You'll actually see a lot of these pros end up playing this map because it's just so good. And if you guys actually want to play against pros, 99% of the time, right before duo cash clips or any tournaments, there's actually a whole bunch of pros playing this map. So if you guys ever wanted to like have a pretty much guaranteed chance to play against some pros, then this is definitely the map to do. So another good map is going to be RAIDER'S Piece Control Map Practice V3. Now this map is pretty old, but it still holds up really well today. Now this map kind of combines some of the other maps before with aim and mechanics. On this one, it goes from easier to harder, starting all the way over here at number 1 on the green. This one's the easiest. So what you want to do is literally just go through like these little drills and kind of just set up a nice little piece control and some right hand peeks, completely whiffed there. But again, if you just walk right in front of the bot, it'll actually end up shooting you. Okay, this bot's being a little stupid right now, but it'll actually end up shooting you like you can see there. Well, make sure whenever you're doing this, you just piece control literally everything. And then again, like I said, practice those right hand peeks. You don't want to create a bad habit of just creating like an open peek like that and then just getting like maxed by somebody. So whenever you practice, make sure you set up safe peeks and get that good piece control down. And again, you have some piece control tunnel maps here where, I mean, as you can probably guess, you just run through and piece everything up. Honestly, piece control tunnels are some of my favorite things to do if you guys are trying to, you know, get better mechs. It really helps get that crosshair control down and just like kind of will help you out in sticky situations. Now, a good map to do for fighting against other players would be Ken Bean's Speed Realistic map. Now, you can use other realistic creative maps, but I found that this map actually has some of the better players in it. So in this map, when you spawn in, one of you will spawn down on the ground where you'll box up and the other player will get launched right at you just like this. So this map's very good for like realistic fighting where you're pretty much just going to be box fighting most of the time. So when you're playing this, you want to have like peek safely. And they have different terrain here like this, but most of the time you're just going to be box fighting, and you can actually end up getting a whole bunch of different heals and loadouts while you're doing this. So it's very important to practice what we were doing before these other maps in this, so this is pretty much where everything all comes together. You want to create safe peaks, have good peace, and all that good stuff. If you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, consider using my code ACE in the item shop, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your days. Peace out.